There is something both elemental and ethereal about the way a great guitarist can transfix an audience, distilling pure energy into a string of notes that seem to defy the very laws of physics. A master of this alchemy is Saul Hudson, known the world over as Slash. He is the man with the unmistakable silhouette, the wide-brimmed top hat perched atop a tangle of dark curls, his face hidden beneath his mane, as though shrouded in mystery, leaving only the guitar as his voice. Slash's playing is an act of controlled chaos, a blistering combination of precision and recklessness. The Les Paul in his hands isn't merely an instrument, but an extension of his very being, his riffs slicing through the air like lightning. For decades, Slash has been at the forefront of rock and roll, but as much as he is revered as one of the greatest guitarists of his generation, his sound is a mosaic of the influences that came before him. A self-professed student of the guitar, Slash's heroes, many of whom were seminal figures in shaping rock as we know it, helped to mold him into the icon he has become today. Born in London in 1965, Slash's early years were steeped in creativity. His mother, Ola Hudson, was a celebrated costume designer who worked with legendary figures like David Bowie and Ringo Starr, while his father, Anthony Hudson, designed album covers for musicians such as Neil Young. Yet it was not in the artistic enclaves of Los Angeles where Slash found his true calling, but rather in the burgeoning rock scene of the 1970s. After relocating to California in his childhood, it didn't take long for him to fall under the spell of the guitar, drawn to the instrument's capacity for both violence and beauty. He would spend hours practicing, learning from his heroes, and ultimately forging his own path to become the face of a generation-defining band, Guns N' Roses. But long before appetite for destruction made him a household name, Slash was already assembling a personal roster of guitarists who would serve as his inspiration. One of the most significant names on that list is Jeff Beck. For anyone familiar with the annals of rock history, Beck's name carries an air of reverence. A member of the Yardbirds, Beck was one of the few guitarists who could seamlessly weave between rock, jazz, blues, and even funk. His refusal to be pigeonholed into one genre meant that he continuously evolved, pushing the boundaries of what was possible with the electric guitar. Slash has often spoken of Beck's ability to make even the most complex musical ideas sound effortless, his hands translating sound into something that seemed beyond human. A particular favorite of Slash's is the song Come Dancing from Beck's album Wired. The solo in that track, according to Slash, is fucking awesome and stands as one of the earliest pieces of music that made him realize the full potential of the guitar. Beck's work taught Slash that technical brilliance needn't come at the cost of emotion. It's possible to shred with finesse while still conveying raw power and soul. Another guitarist who left an indelible mark on Slash's playing is Rory Gallagher. To the uninitiated, Gallagher may seem an unlikely candidate for such praise, often flying under the radar compared to more commercially successful counterparts. Yet, within the community of musicians, Gallagher is regarded as one of the finest blues rock guitarists to have ever picked up the instrument. Born in Ireland, Gallagher was renowned for his no-frills approach to performance. His guitar wasn't just an instrument, but a tool for communicating pure emotion. He eschewed the trappings of stardom, instead focusing entirely on the music. Slash, who has always been drawn to authenticity over glamour, saw in Gallagher a kindred spirit.
And he was from Ireland, he was sort of isolated too, so he was his own. I mean, I don't think there was anybody out there sort of look that he had going on. But my way of getting as much music for as little money as possible was live records, and Rory had an amazing live record.
Gallagher's performances were unpolished, raw, and electric, a direct line from the musician's soul to the audience. It's no wonder that Gallagher was reputedly one of Jimi Hendrix's favorite guitarists, a man Slash considers one of the most important musicians in history. Hendrix's impact on Slash's playing cannot be overstated. Hendrix, who emerged in the late 1960s, transformed the electric guitar into something entirely new. Where guitarists before him played clean, controlled lines, Hendrix threw the rulebook out of the window. His performances were wild, untamed, and deeply experimental. Hendrix approached the guitar as a portal to another dimension, using feedback, distortion, and effects in ways no one had ever conceived of before. He was a force of nature, and for Slash, he remains a beacon of what it means to innovate. Slash has often reflected on how Hendrix didn't just play music, he embodied it. The guitar seemed to be a living entity in Hendrix's hands, something that responded to his touch with primal urgency. This level of innovation and fearlessness is what draws Slash back to Hendrix time and again, recognizing that even though he's been gone for over 50 years, his influence is as strong today as it ever was. Hendrix, for Slash, wasn't just another guitarist, he was the guitarist, the one who set the bar for every player that came after him.
Hendrix was just otherworldly. To me, his style was so indicative of his personality because him and the guitar were sort of one. He had just a way of knowing where these notes were, and he would drape his fingers over the strings in such a way that he knew exactly what he was hitting and what he shouldn't be hitting. But if you look at the way that he formed chords, they were sort of unique to him.
But while Hendrix stands as the wild spirit of electric guitar, another figure, Eric Clapton, provided a different kind of foundation for Slash's playing. Where Hendrix was all fire and unpredictability, Clapton brought a more refined, yet equally powerful style to the table. As a key figure in the British blues boom, Clapton's work with Cream and Derek and the Dominoes laid the groundwork for many guitarists who came of age in the 1970s and 80s, Slash included. Clapton's solos, particularly in songs like Crossroads and Layla, are models of how to use the guitar as a means of storytelling. There's an elegance to Clapton's phrasing, a way in which every note is carefully considered but still infused with deep emotion. For Slash, Clapton represents the beauty of restraint, a lesson in how to say as much with silence as with sound. Clapton's ability to blend technical skill with understated emotion is something Slash has carried into his own playing, often finding the perfect balance between roaring solos and quieter, more introspective moments. Moving from the blues to the hard-hitting world of rock, it's impossible to ignore the influence of Keith Richards and Mick Taylor on Slash's career. The Rolling Stones, particularly in their late 60s and early 70s heyday, were the embodiment of what it meant to live and breathe rock and roll. Richards' signature riffs, while deceptively simple, are some of the most recognizable in music history. His style, characterized by open tunings and rhythmic precision, provided the backbone of the Stones' music. Yet it was Mick Taylor's tenure with the band that really caught Slash's ear. Taylor, who joined the Stones in 1969, brought a bluesy sophistication to their sound. His fluid, melodic playing on albums like Sticky Fingers and Exile on Main Street elevated the band to new heights, creating a rich, textured sound that contrasted beautifully with Richards' jagged, rhythmic attack. For Slash, the combination of Taylor's smooth leads and Richards' gritty riffs is rock music at its most potent. These albums remain some of Slash's all-time favorites, with Exile on Main Street standing as a personal touchstone for its raw, unpolished energy. In the more modern era, Slash found inspiration in Eddie Van Halen, a guitarist whose innovations took the instrument to yet another level.
Eddie changed guitar playing. Such an amazing musician, amazing guitar player, amazing innovator.
Van Halen's arrival in the late 70s with the release of their self-titled album sent shockwaves through the rock world. His revolutionary use of tapping, as demonstrated in the iconic track Eruption, opened up new possibilities for what the electric guitar could do. Van Halen wasn't just fast, he was precise, creative, and endlessly inventive. While Slash's style is rooted more in the blues-based rock of the past, he has always spoken highly of Van Halen's ability to push the guitar to its technical limits. There's a mutual respect between the two guitarists, each acknowledging the other's contributions to the world of rock. Slash has described Van Halen as a guitarist who did things no one else had ever done, yet made it look effortless, something that only a true master could achieve. And then, of course, there's Jimmy Page, the enigmatic genius behind Led Zeppelin, whose sprawling, epic compositions have inspired generations of musicians. Slash has always been captivated by Page's ability to blend the heavy with the mystical, creating soundscapes that are at once brutal and beautiful. Page's use of alternate tunings, his love for Eastern scales, and his groundbreaking work with studio production techniques have all left a mark on Slash. Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti and Led Zeppelin 4 are albums that Slash has returned to time and again, admiring the way Page weaves intricate guitar lines that are as much about mood and atmosphere as they are about technical proficiency.
I was thinking a whole lot of love, because it's just, I remember when that record came out, I was a little kid, and but you know, Black Dog is another one. You know, Zeppelin had probably the biggest cachet of killer riffs, more than any other band. You know?
From Beck to Hendrix, Clapton to Van Halen, Slash's heroes are a testament to the diversity of the guitar's potential. Each of these guitarists brought something unique to the instrument, whether it was Beck's genre-defying inventiveness, Hendrix's raw power, Clapton's refined touch, or Page's sprawling creativity. Slash, ever the student, absorbed their lessons and molded them into his own inimitable style. As much as he has become a legend in his own right, Slash remains humble in acknowledging the giants whose shoulders he stands on. In the end, Slash is more than just a product of his influences. He is their evolution, a guitarist who took the lessons of the past and pushed them forward into the future. As he continues to play, his unmistakable sound ringing out across arenas worldwide, the echoes of his heroes can be heard in every note. Yet, there is no mistaking who it is. That, perhaps, is the greatest testament to Slash's legacy, a musician who honors the past, yet remains utterly himself.